Of downloading and installing Open SSH Server on a computer running the Debian distro of Linux. If you're using a Red Hat based distro or an OpenSUSE based distro, the procedure is slightly different. These distros use a slightly different set of commands to download and install Linux packages. For this demonstration, I'm using Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. The first step in the process of installing Open SSH Server is to open a terminal window. If you have a terminal window in your activities bar, then click on it to open the window. If your computer does not have an icon on the activities bar for opening a terminal, you can right-click on the desktop, point to the word Open Terminal, and click Open Terminal. Once the terminal window is open, it is a best practice to update the distro by typing at the command prompt sudo apt-get update. Press the enter key. You'll be prompted for your password, which you will type in. Press the enter key. Ubuntu will go out to its repositories to see if there are any updates available to download and install. As part of this process may take some time depending on the speed of the computer, the speed of the network connection, and whether there are any updates for the distribution. Thankfully, my system does not require any updates. Normally at this point in the process, I would download and install Open SSH Server without clearing the screen. However, to help keep the terminal less cluttered, I am going to press the Control key and the L key at the same time to clear the screen. Next, to download Open SSH Server, I'm going to type sudo apt-get install Open SSH Server and press the enter key. Unlike when I updated the distro, Linux does not prompt me for a password. Many Linux distros, once they identify that the user has privileges to run commands as root, it does not prompt for the password when the user runs additional commands within 15 minutes of entering the password. After 15 minutes elapse, Linux will again prompt for a password. About a third of the way through the download and installation process, a prompt will appear asking whether you're okay with Linux taking 5,321 kilobytes worth of disk space, or about 5 megabytes. If you're okay with Linux using 5 megabytes or so for Open SSH Server, type the letter capital Y and press the enter key. As with updating the distro, the process may take some time depending on the speed of the computer, the speed of the network, and how much needs to be downloaded. The installation process will also generate the encryption keys for the server as well as start Open SSH Server. After you download SSH Server, you can test the server by logging into your Linux computer from the command prompt. Normally I would test Open SSH Server without clearing the screen, but once again, let's use our Control L to clear the terminal to keep it less cluttered. Now let's check to see if I was successful in setting up Open SSH Server. If you do not have another computer with an SSH client installed, there's a quick test to see whether the installation was successful. At the command prompt, you can type in SSH space your account on that computer, the @ and localhost. When you press the enter key, you should see a message indicating that the SSH does not recognize localhost and you'll need to add it to the list of known hosts. To add the local host to the list of hosts, you will need to type the word yes and press the enter key. Next, at the password prompt, you'll need to type in the password for the username that you happen to use. And press enter. After a few seconds, the prompt will appear with the message that we have successfully logged in. Once again, Let's now demonstrate how we can use the terminal by typing in just a few Linux commands to see that we're connected. Let's start by clearing our terminal by pressing the Control key and the L key at the same time, or Control L. First, let's try making a new directory, so we'll type in mkdir and newdirectory. Press the Enter key. Looks like that was successful. Let's change to that directory by typing cd space new directory and pressing Enter. That looks good as well. Let's create a new file by using the touch command. So we'll type in touch new file, press the Enter key. Let's just do a directory listing by typing ls, pressing the Enter key. And finally, let us return back to our home directory by typing cd space and then the tilde sign. And press the Enter key, and we're back. Now to close the remote connection, we're going to type in log out, and we get the message connection to localhost closed, and we're back to our normal terminal screen.